Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I am so pleased to introduce you. In studio with us, we have Greg Whiteley, the director of the documentary right here at Sundance 2014, Mitt. Thank you so much, Greg, for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is something, and I think that probably, Massachusetts, of course, with that relationship with Mitt Romney, but Utah has a very strong affiliation with Mitt Romney, of course, so I know it's generated a lot of excitement and interest, specifically here in the state. What does this this documentary, what purpose does it serve, and what does it address? What's the time frame we're looking at here?
Well, I began filming Christmas Eve 2006, right here, just couple miles away. What I did was I learned that this guy was running for president, maybe, and then his family was going to be gathering to talk about it. And I've raised Mormon. I'm an active member of the Mormon Church, so I was interested in this guy that would be the really first viable Mormon candidate for president. And I just begged for any way to just film this family talking about him running, and with no expectation of whether or not he would actually run or whether or not I would be allowed to film him running. And I filmed that Christmas Eve discussion, and I just kept filming for 6 years.
Wow. So as you went into filming this, obviously you were given really unprecedented access to the family and seeing these very personal moments. What was going through your mind and kind of witnessing this and knowing that one day people would actually be able to see this on screen?
I thought it was crazy. I just found myself in situations where I couldn't believe that I was in this room watching what I was watching, especially when I would talk to my wife on the phone, or I would look at news programs while I was editing or logging clips, and you would just see this huge disparity between this sort of personal side of the family that I was witnessing and then the public persona that gets out there, either by way of the campaign or by the way the media covers the campaign.
And I'm curious about that because obviously, depending on your political leanings or affiliation, you either think that Romney would have been the best person to lead the country, or you think that he would have, destroyed it something. There's
Right.
a huge disparity between what people believe about how he would have done it, and somewhere in the middle, right? So you saw really everything of what was going on. What was your take on him as a man and your relationship that you developed with the family?
Well, I just sort of took the stance that it wasn't my job to persuade anybody that he should be president. So the film itself is very apolitical. I am really just a fly on the wall, and I'm filming just what amounted to be very candid moments of a very public person. And I don't think anybody watching the movie is persuaded that maybe if they had not voted for him, hey, I should have voted for him, or vice versa. So I'm not sure if this is answering your question, but I feel like the takeaway of the film is, for whatever reason, when you go through the meat grinder of a political process, no matter who you are, you're going to be reduced to a two-dimensional iconic image. And if you're somebody that leans in one direction politically, you're either going to hate that image, or if you're somebody that leans another direction, you're going to love that image. And I think it might be healthy for all of us to realize that there is a completely third alternative, a real image that's
like, by
more
the way,
3D.
There's something besides those two images that the media put out there, I think.
Correct.
That you can be aware
I'm
of.
not sure it's just the media's fault. I think campaigns do a pretty good job of trying to create iconic images for their candidates, and many times, maybe all times, there is a disparity between who they really are and then how they're perceived or how they're digested publicly.
Very good. Well, we do have a clip that we want to share with you guys from the documentary Mitt, where you're going to show that right now. Here it is.
A very good example of moments throughout the film where you take an iconic news moment, and most people in this country are going to be familiar with that place and time where for instance, the 47%, or we capture, several moments in either debates or campaign stops that everybody is aware of that publicly, but they weren't necessarily aware of what was happening behind the scenes when stuff like that occurred. And I feel like that became the secret sauce of the film. We don't make any comments on these public moments. We just simply show what's happening privately behind them.
And I like that. That was your purpose, kind of how you alluded to earlier, is that you just want to share that different side that we didn't have access to, but you did, and now you're sharing.
Yeah, I think just given the access that I had, I felt like that was that was my best bet. They've got a team, an army of reporters that follow Mitt Romney on the campaign trail and Barack Obama on the campaign trail. And these people are bright. They're inquisitive. They're curious. They're churning out articles every day about what they're saying publicly. And I was just granted this kind of crazy access, so I didn't really see my job as commenting on the political process. I just kept my mouth shut and filmed.
All right. Well, Greg, thank you so much for your time. Where can we see the film?
Well, it's tonight. It premieres in Park City at the Mark Theater, I think at 5:45. And then it has its world premiere on Netflix 1 week from yesterday, so this coming Friday, the 24th.
Which is quite incredible that that's being so readily available
I
to
think
everyone.
It's unprecedented. I don't think it's ever been done before, that while the festival is going on, where you premiered, especially at Sundance, you're going to have the world premiere simultaneously.
Oh, well, thanks for your work, I think, in providing a different point of view, I think, to share with everyone. I think it'll be quite interesting to see myself. So thank you for your time, Greg Whiteley, the director of Mitt. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. We have some music joining us here in studio, so don't go away. That's coming up.